Hello, 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 and welcome back, guys, to my channel. Thank you for joining me. I am Monique. Thank you for joining the Wrapped in Scraps channel. I hope you guys are having a great day today. First, let me just start off by saying that I hope that you guys are having a good day. If you woke up, if you are looking at this screen, if you opened your eyes and took a deep breath in and breathed it out, and you are still here, you are already winning. The day is already great for you, okay? So just thank God that you're here. Thank God that you're alive. And, I like to just jump right on into it, okay? It's going to be a hot day. And so I'm trying to just get a few things done because I really plan on going absolutely nowhere today. I'm going to go water my garden. And I'm going to come back in the house. And I'm going to sit here in this craft room and make some bags and do some house cleaning and things like that. But that's it. I'm not viewer. Again, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you stopped to see what's going on around here. Okay. So I am again in the craft room. These shelves might look a little new because I just put them up not long ago. So welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm having a wonderful day. I'm here. I woke up. God is still good. And I'm just sitting here sipping my apple cider with cream. Yes, apple cider with cream. A little weird, but this is what I like to drink. On the days that I choose not to drink coffee, I am a coffee drinker, and that is usually what I drink in the morning. But every day I like to switch, sometimes I want to switch it up. So this is what we're doing this morning. Now, I thought I would just do a quick video. This is going to be a really quick video. We'll see. That's my plan. Just a quick video. And just in case you're wondering where I got the robe from, I made the robe as well. Yesterday I made the robe. I like lime green, but I never really see lime green robes. And so I thought, well, hell, I'm just going to make one. We're going to just see what happens. And, it came out all right. I just made, I just took one of my other robes and just kind of sketched it out and did the best I could. I did buy a robe fabric pattern thing, and I opened it all up and it was just too confusing to me. I was already irritated as soon as I looked at it, and I just decided to opt out of that and to find a robe that I already can fit and to go with that. So I'll one day go back and use the pattern, but not today. Okay. So I wanted to talk about, if you are a new crafter, if you want to get into crafting, if you've never crafted, or if you have and you have a couple of craft things laying around the house, but you are trying to get a craft room established, what are some of the things you are going to need to do this? Okay. Or where do you start? Where do you start? I have people come over, before I revamp my room, really renovated this room. Before I did that, people would come over and be like, oh my God, you have so much stuff. How did you get all of this stuff? Well, you start small. I know that sounds really bad, as far as, yeah, right. You don't just start small. Yeah, you do. You start at the Dollar Tree. There's tons of glitters, paints, glues, stickers, sticky tape, sticky dots, double-sided tape, construction paper, needles, threads, bobbins. It's all there. It's all there. So take you, depending on your budget, stay in your budget, take you some money, go into the Dollar Tree, go down to Arts and Craft aisle, and just get all the stuff you think you would like to have in your craft room. There, Big Lot is another place that I used to frequently go to. I still go to Big Lot. Big Lot sometimes has a lot of nice stuff for a reasonable price in the arts and crafts section. Also try Tuesday Morning. Tuesday Morning, they have really reasonable prices there as well. Hobby Lobbies, Michaels, Joann's, we all know that stuff. They have stuff there. But if you're going to get stuff there, I would suggest highly that you get a coupon. You can get it on your phone, pull it up. They'll scan it at the register. Sometimes they'll let you use two. You can use, Joann's will let you use coupons from Michaels, Hobby Lobby, and any other place really. Hobby Lobby will not accept anyone else's coupon but Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby, oh my love, my first love. Hobby Lobby is, I'm in love. Now, anyhow, that's what you want to do. Hit up those stores first. Also, let's not forget, now we are in the world of technology. So we got Facebook Marketplace, and we got all these other avenues to find what we want. So hit up Facebook Marketplace. See, type in craft supplies, thrift stores, yard sales, swap meets, you name it. Okay, you name it. All of those places where people unfortunately pass away and the relatives trying to get rid of all the craft stuff, you know, find those type of places to shop before you go to the spanking brand new stores. Like I said, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and Joann's, wonderful stores. I frequent those stores all the time, but normally it's for when I'm looking for something specific. It has to be something that I know I'm looking for. Like I need blue and green with polka dot, yellow and red stripe paper, and I know they have it. That's usually when I go to those stores. Outside of that, I've built up quite a collection. You also can go to craft fairs. There's a Scrapbook Expo fair. I don't know if they're still doing it right now because of what's going on in the world, but they usually have it in Ontario if you're in California every September, November timeframe. They usually have it there. You can clean up at craft fairs and expos because a lot of the vendors there are trying to get rid of the previous year's stuff. And so the prices are very reasonable for the most part. So you can do that. But don't be discouraged, is my point. Be creative. Think outside the box. Shameless plug. Be creative. Think outside the box. Don't let your creativity be contained, okay? So just find things to create things with. You know, just do the best you can with what you have. Think outside the box. Find some things. And after a while, you'll turn around, you'll look around, and you'll have a plethora of things to put in your craft room. Put things that make you feel good. And it doesn't have to be a craft room. It can be just a desk. It can be, I started off in the kitchen, in the dining room. It wasn't even really a dining room because it was all, the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen were all kind of, this is an apartment. It wasn't even a kitchen. I started off at the kitchen table, okay? I started crafting and doing my craft stuff at the kitchen table. And over time, it evolved. After that apartment, when we moved to a different house, I had a craft room. And I'll insert some pictures of my first craft room because it was just so precious to me. It was such a heart's desire. And when I finally got it, I was just so excited. Now, furniture. If we're going to do furniture, you want to hit up the spots that most crafters hit up. Michael's, Hobby Lobbies, IKEA. Now, the closest IKEA to me is about 45 minutes away. So, and I'm an impulse buyer. Well, no. I know what I want, so I'm not an impulse buyer, but I want it right now. I'm one of those types. So if I say I want the dresser, I want to go to the store. I want to pick up the dresser and bring the dresser home. I don't want to have to order it. I don't want to have to wait for Amazon to deliver it. I don't want to do that. I want it right now. And this pandemic is forcing me to have to not be that way. But I'm working on it. So IKEA has great things for organization for craft rooms. So does Hobby Lobby. So does the same stores I mentioned previously. So also Facebook Market, like all of the furniture. If you have seen my video, me renovating part 1, renovation of my craft room. If you have not, go check it out. Okay, check it out. Renovation of the first part of this craft room. All the blue furniture, which you can't probably see right now, but my whole room is full of a whole bunch of blue cabinetry. I paid $200 for like top-notch cabinetry. I mean, I'll never need to buy cabinetry for this room ever again. If I move, I can take it with me. But it's craft-made furniture, really high quality, custom cabinetry, pull-out drawers, pull-out cabinets, all of the works, okay? But bells, knobs, and whistles. I don't need to buy any more, but I only paid $200 for it. Now, when I bought it, it was green. I painted it blue. Beautiful blue, too. But that's what I mean when I say do what you can. So you don't have to go in the store and buy the brand new, spanking brand new stuff. It doesn't have to be that way. Just do the best you can. Take what you can. Use your imagination. Put your creativity into it. And I promise you, you'll come out with something that's good. Something that you're going to feel proud to put in your space. Okay? Now, when it comes to sewing machines, sergers, I'm sitting here looking at a serger that I bought from a thrift store. I paid $10 for it. It's a Kenmore. And it does just fine. I've sewn curtains with it. I've sewn reupholstered sofas with it. I sold this robe with it. It works just fine. But I am now that I have several sewing machines, and sometimes things come, have problems here and there. You have to work through that. I've learned that I don't want to really buy any more used sewing machines. The next one that I buy, I want to span, break, and span new. Two of them, actually, all three of my sewing machines I've bought brand new. The Serger is the only one that I've bought that was secondhand. But I like to buy my sewing machines brand new because to me, it's a very personal thing, and they're delicate. And there's so much that can go wrong with the little compartments if people don't clean them out right. If people get glitter all in them and use all kind of crazy interfaces that aren't supposed to be sewed on, stuff like that. So me knowing me and how rough I am on my sewing machines, I can only imagine that there's others like me, and I wouldn't want them to clean it up and then sell it to me. So that's why I buy my sewing machines. I just buy them, okay? I am looking at that Baby Lock Jazz. If you haven't checked that out, check that out. If you've never bought a sewing machine, you think about buying one, it might be a little bit steep on the price scale for you because, you're not that invested into it yet. But for me, honey, if you're watching, Baby Lock Jazz is where it's at. That's the next one for me. But that's what I suggest, you guys. I suggest that you start small. Dollar Tree, 99-cent store, the purple green one, Dollar Tree, that was the green and white. Big Lots, Dollar General, all of those places where you can go in and have a whole happy basket full of goodness for about 30 to 40 bucks. Go there first, okay? And then just expand your search. Just search around and look and see what people are selling. And I love yard sales and estate sales. And oh man, swap meets. Oh, the San Diego swap meet. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, I don't live in San Diego anymore, but man, I used to be there about 5:30 in the morning, happy with a wagon, ready to go. Okay. I remember being pregnant with my eldest daughter, who's now 20, almost 21, and my mother pushing me, big pregnant, my mother pushing me in a pushy buggy because I was having, contractions, and we were still going. She had me in one of those jogging strollers. My big old juicy self I was real skinny back then, but my belly, I was all belly, and me and the belly was in the jogging cart, and my mom had some hooks on the cart, and she had hooked all these bags, and she was pushing me down the aisles, and we were still shopping. And I would stop for the contraction, and then once that was it, we keep on going. I wasn't due yet. I still had like a month to go. You women know what I'm talking about. So I just love that swap meet though, because it's hot there. For some reason, it seems like regardless of when you go, it's always hot. Summer, winter, fall, spring, it don't matter. It's hot. But the stuff that you can find there is just amazing. Craft stuff, I can only imagine right now the stuff that they would have craft related. Because back then, I've always been into crafting. I fell in love with crafting back when I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club. Now, some of y'all might know what the Boys and Girls Club is, and some of y'all may not. Boys and Girls Club is a place, usually in the inner cities, where they would try to have activities for children to come and be a part of so that they could stay out of other things they're not supposed to be being a part of. Also to give the parents a break. Also, I don't know, man. Yeah, they did serve food. They did have a cafeteria and they did serve food. Now, you had to pay for the membership. I'm pretty sure there was some type of governor's waiver or something. Maybe, I don't know. I know my mom had to pay something for us to be there. I do recall that. Anyhow, they need to go back to having a Boys and Girls Club because that was just a wonderful place. But the first time I fell in love with arts and craft, I didn't even know anything about, I always liked coloring and drawing, but I walked in this little room in the smell of the clay. They had red clay. And I remember smelling the clay. I remember smelling the paints, the glues and all this stuff. No, I'm not a huffer, but I just remembered the smell. And I was like, what is that? What is that? I was probably about five or 6 years old. And they were all sitting down molding and doing all this stuff with these tools. And I peeked up on the counter and saw what they were doing. And I wanted to be a part of that. And so they gave me a mound of that red clay and taught me how to make a pig. A pig was the first arts and craft thing I did when it comes to real arts and craft. I molded the pig and fixed them all up. And then they cured it for me in the cure. And the next time I came, it was ready for me to paint, and then I got to paint it. And that one project set off a lifetime of, oh my God, I can create. I think that's what it was for me. I can create, you know, being able to create is huge for me because I'm a very creative person. And so me being able to create was just huge. So what I did after that experience, sorry, y'all, I'm trying to make sure I got good light. So after that experience, I started doing a lot more, also into music. As you know, my degree is in audio technology. So I'm into music as well. Reading music, writing music, all that stuff. Back then it was just, I love music. I've always had an ear for music. So my mother bought me a Yamaha. I still have it actually. And so that's how I got into the arts and craft and the music thing. At a very, very young age, my mom kind of massaged those muscles and got me involved in different things that dealt with that. I was in choir, I was in all that type of stuff. So the Boys and Girls Club is where I got my start in really dipping into arts and craft. And then, you know, as you get older, you get into high school, you get married, have kids, all of that stuff. It just kind of dwindled away. When I hit about 24 years old, some light went on and I got back into the music thing, and I got back into doing the, you know, arts and craft things. Really just started by drawing Brat dolls, big life-size Brat dolls on the wall and painting them in my daughter's room because at the time that's what she wanted. And I saw those posters, and that's really how another part of me doing the whole arts and craft thing came about. There was always things that I really liked and wanted, and as a single parent at the time, as I was divorced, rightfully so. But with that being said, as a single mom, young single mom too, there was a lot of things that I wanted my daughter to have that I sometimes couldn't afford, and so I would have to come up with creative ways to how to make it and or put it together and or repiece it, repaint it. That's how I got into the refurbishing furniture. That's how I got into the painting big things on the wall. That's how I got into a lot of that stuff. Me having a daughter, being a mother and wanting the best for my kid kind of rekindled my creative juices, really. Okay, so that's how that came about. Now, I noticed that creativity is a big deal for me when I'm stressed. So when I got married the second time, 10 years later, almost 10 years later, I got married the second time and moved to 29 Palms, which is if you guys know, is the middle of nowhere. It's the desert. It's ugly. It's hellish. The devil is a lie, but I think he lives there. And it's just horrible to me, in my opinion. Nobody should live there. Nothing should live there. Not birds, not trees. No, wait, no trees. But you know, there's only Joshua trees. So anyhow, when I moved there, we lived in this little house that was like 30 miles away from the base in the middle of nowhere. When I say this, there was nothing around this house, I'm not exaggerating. I was so depressed. I was so depressed because my husband would go to work, my daughter would go to school, and I would get back to the house after going to the gym. And you know, like I said, we had just got married, so I had to leave my whole little life behind. Everything I was doing, the bands I was in, the church choir I was in, the schooling I was in, everything that I was doing, I had to just cold turkey stop and kind of support what he was doing because, you know. So I would go back to the house. There wasn't no internet, and I would just be there all day until it was time. And I was scared to venture out too far into the town because it ain't no town you want to venture out into, really. Okay, I did find a thrift store. But outside of that, I mean, that only takes up, what, 1 or 2 hours of your time? The closest Walmart was 30 miles away from the base, going the opposite direction. So that's about 45 to 50 miles from me, because my house was going 30 miles in the other, no, not 30 miles, 10 miles from the base. So it would have been 40 miles for me to go to Walmart. No Starbucks. None of those places that most women would want to go to. Ain't no Starbucks, ain't no Jamba Juice. Target, you can forget it. Ain't no Target, okay? The only shopping you're going to get is the shopping that's on base. And you know, anyone who's military know, you know, you get tired of the same stuff up in the PX and all that stuff. So anyhow, back to my story. So that's how I started doing arts and crafts again, to keep me sane when I was living in the wilderness, okay? To keep me sane. And Shortly after I got there, a couple months after I got there, found out I was pregnant with Zoe. And first major craft project I did after not doing one for years was Zoe's Nursery. And that re-sparked the whole craft thing, okay? And that's how it all started. And here I am, almost 10 years later, still going. You know, I've started a sole proprietor business, you know, off and on, depending on what I'm doing. As you know, I've got 3 little ones. And so a lot of my time is monopolized, but I do the best I can with what I got, right? And so that's that. That's how I started with my arts and craft and all that stuff. It's been about 20 minutes now that I've just been rambling on, but that's how I started my craft room. It was not just a run to the store and buy a whole bunch of stuff. This actually took me, it's been, I'd say about a good 8 years, to be fair, maybe 9 years that I've been working on gathering up all the stuff in my craft room, from yard sales, swap meets, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, expos, scrapbook expos, you name it, okay? And so it's not something that happens fast overnight. Now, if you have the funds and you can go ahead and just slap it all down and get it all at once at Hobby Lobby, so you ain't got to run around and find it by piece because you just got it like that because this guy's been that good to you, girl, go ahead and get it. Go ahead and get it. I wish, let me go in and be able to buy a chunk of a Joann's or a Hobby Lobby. I would jump on that. Please, yes, build me a store right next to my house with a little Hobby Lobby shop that I can go in and shop when I want to go craft. I can just go in there and have my own personal store. That's what I would have if I was a millionaire. Give me a Starbucks, I want a skating ring, and I want a Hobby Lobby on my property. Everyone has their dreams, right? So that's that. But I'm looking around the room, and this room makes me happy. I put things in here that make me happy. Oh, let me show you. Hold on. When I was in middle school, I grew up from 4th grade to, I forgot what grade, but somewhere up in high school in San Diego, California. Okay. Now, the thing there was sticker books. Okay. This is my sticker book from back when I was 8 or 9 years old. Okay. And this sticker book was the most important thing to me at the time. This is what I carried around in my little backpack. Now, these stickers may not mean much to y'all, but you know, you're like, what's so big about them? They had to be categorized because the girls weren't playing. This was your status symbol. Okay, where I grew up, outside of money, which I didn't have a whole bunch of money. We weren't a wealthy family. But this was your status symbol on the playground, okay? Girls come together and they're like, oh, so like, where's your sticker book, right? If you didn't have no sticker book, don't even come over here. You can't play with us. Don't talk to us. Don't even look at us, okay? Now, I was a rebel. I was kind of a loner anyway. But being that I love stuff like this, I really wanted to be a part of that group. That was like the first group ever in my life that I really wanted to be a part of. And it wasn't because they were like the cool kids. It's because we had a like interest, right? So I went to FedEx and bought this sticker book, if I believe. I bought it from FedEx, okay? And the sticker book was separate from the sticker book pages. You have to buy each one of these separate, okay? And they weren't cheap. This is Coronado. They were not cheap. Okay, my poor mama. So she had a lot of stuff. My mother had a lot of things and responsibilities to take care of. And, you know, trying to keep us in a nice environment. And we lived just 3 blocks away from the beach. And it was like paradise. I mean, I can't lie. To go from where we lived to where we moved to, it was like paradise. So a sticker book was the least of her worries, okay? But she still did the best she could. My mom's like Mary Poppins. She gonna figure it out and make it work. That's just her personality. So this sticker book was the first thing that really kind of scratched that itch since the Boys and Girls Club of me putting things together and creating things. And it was just This thing just brings back so much memories because you would swap stickers. So everyone would go to the playground with their little sticker book. This is back when you were allowed to bring things to school. And you would sit down and each person would flip through your, through your sticker book to make sure that you were cool and that you had the cool stickers like this is in the front. See, now the way your sticker book was arranged was a very great, valid importance, okay? Because if you didn't have your sticker book, popping, then people weren't going to even want to look in it, okay? They weren't going to, if the first page didn't catch their eye, it just wasn't happening. They didn't want to look at your sticker, but they'll close your book and give it back to you and go trade stickers with somebody else, okay? So as soon as you open it, see, you got to have the oily stickers. You got to catch their eyes. Now, this is back in the early 90s, okay? Late 80s, early 90s. And so it was a big deal. It was a big deal. And so for me, this brings back so many memories because it was one of the few things, being that I was the only chocolate girl really over there. There was a few, but there was only maybe 2 or 3 that lived on the island. The rest lived on the Strand because they were military. So after everybody went to school, went home, I was still there, okay? And I wasn't always treated the best. This is the one thing that would even out the playing field for me. So it was a very big thing when it came to social gatherings, okay? But so things like that, the Boys and Girls Club, Arts and Craft Room, I was always in there. The sticker books, random paintings we would do sometimes in school would re-trigger that love for crafts for me. And then once I had children, it became a necessity because I wanted my kids to have the best things, and sometimes I couldn't afford that, and so I had to make it or figure it out. And so that's how crafting came along for me. That's how I got into the whole craft situation. Naturally, so my mind just invents things. When I'm doing something, if I'm doing something and I can't figure, if I can't get something to work, my mind will automatically come up with a solution. Call me an inventor. I call myself one. I just ain't got no patents yet, but I promise you, I've been to several different inventions corporations to patent some stuff, and they just want too much money. I can't do $20,000, but that's how much they want for one of these inventions to be patented. I've taken my inventions several times to different companies. My mind would just naturally make a blueprint for it. And I mean like a blueprint. It's almost like I can see it like how they have it in the movie, where, you see the blue paper and then you see it in its raw form with all the pieces and parts moving, labeled. My brain does that. I've had dreams that I've been at the 2050 kitchen and bath design show. So I've seen some stuff. And so as soon as I can get enough money to get just one, all I need is one. All I need is one of these little inventions to work so that I ain't got to worry about nothing for a while. Okay. So that's the goal. Sorry, I'm sitting on this little air thing in case you wonder what all that noise is. So anyhow, that is how Monique Shante got into the craft world. I love it. It's very therapeutic for me. Being a crafter is extremely, extremely therapeutic for me, especially with all that I deal with, all that goes on over here in this house. Those of you who know me know what I'm talking about. A lot going on. I got some challenges that I've got some challenges that I have to hit head on every day. And being able to come in here and find some solitude and some rest. And this is also where I do my praying. This is also where I do my worship. This is also where I come when I just need to get away for a minute and have a moment alone. So this is my sanctuary, okay? And for me, that's very important to have. I don't get much time by myself. Like right now, it's early in the morning. So, they're up, but they downstairs eating cereal and all of that. So they don't need to bother me yet. But in a minute, the fighting and the arguing and the screaming and the she took this and she touched me and coloring on walls and all the stuff that kids do will commence. And so for me, I try to get up extra early. Sometimes I haven't been doing it too much here lately, but I try to because I want to get up and give myself some time, throw some makeup on a little bit, comb my hair a little bit, do something for me before my day is completely engulfed in doing things for everyone else. And with everyone being home right now, as you know, all the kids are home. So it's not like you can sip your coffee and wave out the bye, see you after school. No. And then even then I still have one There's still one here, and she's the one that's the most turned up. Okay, I have never met a 4-year-old like this in my life, ever. She's a one-of-a-kind genius. Okay, she's super, super smart, and she's super, super fun, super, super turned up. And sometimes, you know, as adults, look, once you get over 35, 36, 37, 38, I'm up there. Boy, he's right there at the door. I don't want to run and chase after you. I don't, you know, I'm tired. Let me just say that. I'm tired. When I was younger and had my daughter, I was a young mom. I was married, but I was still a young mom. And I had all the energy in the world. I know this is hard for some people to believe, but I think that young parents can sometimes be better parents in the sense of we have more energy. We can chase the kid, run up the slide, run down the slide, climb up into the slide tube, all that stuff. I did all that stuff with no issue. It was no problem for me to pull a wagon for a mile or so just to go to the store because she wanted to adventure and see how fun it would be to go to the store in the wagon. I had no problem with none of that. Now, I don't even want to walk around the block with the wagon. And I don't know, it's because she's my 4th child and I'm just burnt out. I'm burnt out. But that same energy is not there. I don't want to chase you to snatch the crayons out of your hand after you done colored on my wall. I don't want to clean up all the toothpaste all over the walls because you wanted to be a caveman and put your handprints all over it and waste all my toothpaste I just bought. I don't want to do none of that. But she's making me. She's making me do it, y'all. She's making me do it. She said, I don't care if you want to or not. I'm here, and honey, I'm going to do everything I want to do. And you're going to have to deal with it. And that's where we are right now. That's where we are. So with that being said, also try to incorporate the kids into the craft room. Now, we have to put some strict boundaries in place here. They have to understand that this is not theirs. This is not their space. This is not your room. This is mommy's craft room. This is not yours. Because see, the other day I came in here and I had a little person sitting at my sewing table, looked at me up and down all sideways and told me, what are you doing here? You need to give me some privacy while I do my craft project. That was the 4-year-old. The devil is a lie. You gonna get you and your craft project evicted up out of here. You ain't running nothing up in this room. This is mommy's room. And so I let them come in because they're all very crafty, you know. I'm raising, 2 of my daughters are autistic, and so this type of stuff is very good for them. And so I try to incorporate as much as I can into their schedule and have them doing all kind of things to keep them busy, motivated, thinking outside the box, all that good stuff, you know. It's very therapeutic for them. So we've got everything from molding clay to tons of paint to glitters to stickers to stars to you name it, it's in here. And so I'm trying to just make sure that they're getting everything they need therapeutically to work on their motor skills, to work on their hand-eye coordination, all that good stuff, okay? And so because of that, I have a kind of an open door policy. When I'm in here, the door's open. I don't close it. Right now it's closed because I'm filming, but normally the door's wide open. So they're welcome to come in and go and come as they please. If they want to use something or want to do something, they'll point to it and tell me they want this or that, whatever. And I'll either yes or no it, depending on what I'm doing. Now, if I'm working with heat press and irons and all that stuff, no, they can't come past that door. So I'm thinking about getting me one of those little gardening doors. You know, the ones that are half, you can open the bottom one or the top one. I'm thinking about getting one of those for more so for safety measures because, you know, when they're playing and arguing and they're chasing each other and one's trying to get away from the other one and they're trying to make it home safe to base, which is me, they'll run in here and run into me and hold on to me, you know, while they're laughing at the other person or whatever. And like I said, sometimes I'm working with hot irons or heat press and things like that, and it could be a hazard. And so I need to get something where I can kind of just deadbolt that and stop them, but still keep the top open. So that's going to be my next thing. That and getting my fireplace to go in here too. Yeah, I haven't seen the room yet, so I can't talk about that. But anyhow, I've rambled on for long enough. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm going to go water my garden. I'm going to reheat up my apple cider because it's now cold. I want to thank you all for joining me. Remember to stay wrapped in scraps and don't let your creativity be contained. See you next time, guys. Bye.